Welcome. Well, this afternoon we're going to talk about something which is really important, and that is food. And food is security and reliability, and also an ethical way of creating food. And that's when I used to talk with Marieke de Wild. She's from the New Fork, and Jacob Boersma from W Node. And they're going to do a masterclass on this subject the 25th and the 26th in the afternoon online. And you're all invited to basically come and join. But we're going to talk about first, what's happening with food and security and reliability and blockchain. And then secondly, what is going to happen in that masterclass, which I think if you're in this subject of reliable production of and transport of food, then you should be in there. Okay, Marieke, you've been involved with food and security and reliability for a long time, and then combine it with blockchain, right? What is this new fork? What is this new fork thing?
Yeah, when we saw blockchain maturing in fintech, in the financial sector, it became very apparent for me that blockchain is solving one of the key challenges in agri-food, and that is data ownership and data earning models. Because sort of the ownership of data it's much more transparent and much more easier to include.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we want to make sure that the data is real and is reliable. Of course, we want food, but we want to make sure that the food is produced the right way, that everybody gets rewarded the right way, that the security is okay. And you've been thinking about that for a long time.
Another thing is food fraud. Not everybody is aware that there is actually a lot of food fraud. So, for example, only 1/3 of olive oil is indeed olive oil.
1/3.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically the same as with medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are unaware of that. Still, but the cases and the awareness is becoming more apparent.
Yeah.
And blockchain can solve that.
Yeah. And you think that blockchain is one of the technology tools, and next to setting up a good infrastructure and a good supply chain to basically help us become more reliable with food.
Yeah, blockchain is a fundamental part of the architecture. So it is an architectural technology. It's only a small part, but it's a very fundamental part because it ensures data integrity.
Okay. Right. Somebody is having a lot of wind here.
That's probably me.
Jacob,
So when you don't talk, Jacob, you can just say mute. Click on thing and say mute. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of teams.
Everybody knows by now.
Yeah. So this is a cool picture of you, but I mean, you're quite a big team. How big is the New Fork, and how long have you been busy organizing events and projects around this team?
Yeah, so we are about 20 people today, and we are in this space, blockchain for food, since 3 years, a bit over 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. And what are typical things which you do and projects which you do and clients which you service?
Yeah, so we introduced blockchain technology within the technology stack of clients. Mm-hmm. So we help like manufacturers, but also retailers. We help them integrate the technology into their existing technological
Yeah. And then give me an exciting name of a client you work for. I know you work with the University of Wageningen, right? I mean, that is one of your partners which you work with, and I know that everybody is always in your conferences. Everybody in the whole world is always coming together to basically look at this blockchain. But you also work with a whole bunch of very interesting names.
Yeah, we focus on the bigger brands because we are very convinced that if you want to get a quick and solid change, you need to work with the big brands. So we work with the likes of Kraft Heinz, of Ahold Delhaize, with those sort of companies.
Yeah, Unilever and then Google and Rabo. I mean, okay. So that is basically you. And here is the partners, which I thought were interesting. So you have great names, and you have great events. So then, when we look at Jacob, you are from WB Node. What is WB Node?
Yes, WB Node is the Warren Brandeis network of decentralization experts. And that's something that I founded together with 3 other blockchain experts beginning of this year, where we basically give strategic advice to companies and governments that really want to take the next step in technology. And we believe that the next step in technology is decentralized. So using a blockchain and other similar techniques to really go beyond the centralized infrastructure that we've known before.
Yeah, and what I thought was really nice, I know you from, you worked at Deloitte, and Deloitte was always one of the advisory groups which really knew a lot about blockchain and really was interested about it, and then you left and you basically came here. So that's how we know you. Okay, let's talk about the masterclass, which is happening on the 25th.
Yeah.
On the 25th. What's going to happen there?
Yeah, we explain the technology to a level, to a business audience, because what we realized in the past 3 years of experience, that you do need to understand the fundamentals of it in this phase, where blockchain is still in its early stage. You need to understand why decentralization is a unique part of a blockchain technology, because if you don't, you really enter into misunderstandings. And that set aside, it's very inspiring. It's the new world that we're building. So why everybody wants to learn about it and understand why it's different and how this new world is emerging.
Yeah, and it's really important. We want to know where the food comes from. We want to know sure about the quality, the reliability, the whole value chain, how it's been divided, and to set it up in a new way. And you have examples. You have examples of that, and people really like to be there. What is the setup? It's 2 days, 2 afternoons.
Yeah.
So who's doing what from you guys?
Yeah, we divide it, so we do each 1 day. So I do the first day, and Jacob does the second day, and then we close it off together.
Okay, so Marieke, tell me about the first day. What's happening there?
Yeah, we first of all elaborate why blockchain is emerging and how it's relevant to food. So really explaining the business case for this technology, what it brings you, the value. Yeah. And then we explain the technology by very concrete use cases. And one, for example, is of the Sharing Council, which is a blockchain technology that makes co-ownership, economic co-ownership, so shareholdership, very easily accessible and very cheap. And this is super interesting for food, because then you can, as a consumer, for example, economically participate in those who produce your food. So this reestablishes the connection between production of food and consumption of food.
Okay. And you're going to be the teacher on day number one. Way number one. Okay. The why is of course really important. And what's happening with Jacob Jacob? What's happening on day 2?
Yeah. So on day 1, Marieke shows with a number of use cases the why and how of blockchain in food, and on the second day I'm going to dive deeper in what is actually happening there. So how does this technology work, and which other technological components are there, like Internet of Things, that do it to really make a complete functional use case. And also we go with the people in the masterclass. We make it interactive, so we challenge them to also come up with functional use cases, and we then go together with them into a discussion on how that could work and why it might not work, but or what you could do to make it part of a bigger whole.
There's a lot of things blockchain doesn't do, ladies and gentlemen, really, and it's really useful to know what you cannot use it. And I think that you have the guys from ScanTrust there, so it's a really nice block. It's a little nice QR code which you cannot copy, and which you can make. You basically has made it their business to figure out how to make things real, that you can rely that something is really coming from the place where it's coming from.
Yep.
Okay, so. And how are you going to do this? What kind of toolbox are you using? I mean, some of them are very interactive. Otherwise, our masterclass can be extremely boring, that you don't talk to each other. How did you set that? How did you set that up?
Yeah, we are never boring.
Oh, good to know. Yeah.
No, it's the feedback that we've had from the previous classes. So it is really also the peers of the students that make the value, right? It's a strong niche, right? Blockchain and agri-food. So everybody
Yeah.
wants to meet their peers. And we have a very nice challenging exercises in there. And you can even win the prize of the best participant. And that has a prize to it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
you're being challenged.
there's a bunch of reviews. But you also, do you divide up people in groups so they can basically work together or something like that? Or how does it work? What kind of platform are you using?
Google Hangouts.
You do it with Google Hangouts. You have the crazy 8 exercises.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, it's an excellent exercise. So this is where you, in 8 minutes, you have to boil down your best use case of blockchain. And then we discuss that in the group.
Okay. Wow. So it's 2 days, 2 days this afternoon. And the prices for, what are the different prices for which kind of people?
Yeah, exactly. So as an individual, it's just 95 euros for the whole set. But we have one where we include consultancy hours. So where we say, well, to follow up, to really bring blockchain home to your organization, we include 2 hours of consultancy. And the third one is very interesting, that if you are in a bigger organization and you want your colleagues to get to get on the same page as yourself, then we have a membership or a fee where you can have an unlimited amount of colleagues who join. Mm-hmm. So you really can bring the drive forward in your organization.
Okay. Here's a question of the audience. What about data quality? Is that also part of the,
yes.
Do you come into that? Because I think that's quite relevant, right?
It's essential. It's essential. Yeah, we will touch upon that in both days. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, without data quality, blockchain has no use. That's
shit in, shit out. And but I mean, at least you know when you put something in that when thoughts comes out, that you're sure that it hasn't been changed so far. Yeah. What is your most exciting case nowadays, Marieke? What do you think, where you really see things happening? You've been in this business now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we've been having a lot of pilots. Yeah. Is there already something happening? I mean, with Albert Heijn, you can basically scan the orange juice and basically figure out where it is. But are there other examples which are interesting?
Yeah, we are we are building one at this very moment, which is an open public blockchain. So which has a very open public character, which is hasn't been there in agri-food to date. So that is very exciting. And we really believe in the strength of open public if you speak about food, because essentially food is without food we're nowhere. So it has a very strong public character. And another very interesting one is really this sort of co-ownership of production, where you want to get your consumer closer to the reality of production. And really after COVID-19, you've seen a very strong uprise in the demand for localized food, but you can have food from far away that often has a lower footprint and then still feel as if it's close to you.
Okay, yeah. So that was my question. What is COVID? How's COVID influencing you? You do the masterclass digitally. Did you do that before already?
No, we did
it. So people can join all over the world and basically get huge. I mean, I don't think in the Netherlands is really big in food and innovation in food, and I think you guys are on the front cutting edge of blockchain and food. You've done this for a long time. I've seen a lot of cases coming by, so it's very useful for people to, if you're in this area, if you want to know about food and integrity and quality and an ethical supply chain. This is really a good subject to go to. So it's worth your 2 afternoons, and for 95, it's a steal. And for 9.95 for a whole company, it's even more.
Exactly. Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So I hope you will succeed in this venture. So is this the first digital masterclass you're giving?
It's the second.
The second. Okay. So how was the first?
Was a great success. Yeah, it was a great success. So we had about 25 participants. And from different parts of the supply chain. So there was a beautiful interaction between the participants as well.
Yeah, and all from all over the world, or were they mostly from
Yeah.
Netherlands, or?
No, from all over the world. And this is why, having things digital, it makes globalization so much more feasible.
Yeah.
So we're not going back to physical. We'll remain digital.
You're not going to hybrid, that people can come and basically join, and that you have both ways?
We think for the masterclass, it's our experience has been very positive. So we don't feel the urge, but who knows what happens, what feedback we get.
Okay, Marieke, thank you very much. The Blockchain Masterclass, the 25th and the 26th. And be there on the digital platform and take your questions and design your own ethical food chain blockchain. Okay, thank you.
Exactly.